little yarnivores, Fiber Spider, back again with another tutorial just for you. And today I'm going to show you how to knit a shawl that goes by several names, one of which is an asymmetric shawl because of its asymmetric shape. Another term that I've heard of it being referred to as a Linus shawl. Saw it on Ravelry, really great pattern. Linus as in the Peanuts character, I suppose. And so I'm going to show you how to do it. So obviously you're going to need some yarn. For the examples shown in the intro, I used my go-to, Karen Cakes. Absolutely love that. I believe that was red velvet. Love that colorway. But for today, I'm just going to show you with this because I'm not going to go too crazy in detail. And I am using size 10. Focus? No? Haha. There we go. Size 10 DPNs. However, what you are really going to want for this project, you are going to want circular needles, and I would suggest nothing less than 29-inch long circular needles. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to use these double-pointed needles. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, so we're going to start with our slip knot on our needle. That will constitute our first stitch. Then we do 4 more stitches for a total of 5. It's 3, 4, and 5. And you don't need a tremendously long tail because, well, it's just 5 stitches, no worries. Okay, and be sure that you are not knitting with your tail, that you're knitting with your working yarn. I did a take just before, and that's exactly what I was doing, so take 2. All right, so what you do for this first row, quite simply, is knit 4 stitches as you normally would. That's 2, 3, and come on. There we are. First row is always a bit of a beast. Okay, so we knit 4 stitches. Then this last stitch, we're actually going to be doing a stitch called a KFB, or a knit front back, and that's going to be our increase for this row. So you go in to knit as you normally would, wrap the yarn around, and you pull the loop through. Then you go around back and you insert your needle through again, wrap the yarn, and pull that loop through. So, as you can see, we went from 5 stitches up to 6. Okay, and we'll go on to the next row. Okay, now for the second round, we're going to be doing another increase, but this one's going to be a little bit different. You start by knitting the 2 first stitches as normal. Then, for this new increase, it is a yarn over, and this is going to create an eyelet along this side of the shawl. So I'll do that again. So the yarn is in the back. You go around the needle, and you hold it like this. I find makes it a little bit easier. See, this is where we did our yarn over, and we go around and there you are. And then you knit another stitch, and then these last 2 stitches here, we are going to knit them together. So on the eyelet rows, the yarn over rows, what you want to do is at the end of the row, you go in, hang on just a moment here. See, you go in through both stitches, you wrap the yarn around, and you pull that loop, pardon me, through both, and slide your needle off. And that is the second row. Okie dokie. So then to recap, you then for your third row, knit all the way across, so this would be row 1, row 3, it's every other row. So you're knitting your way across. Now see, here's the yarn over, okay? And you want to knit this yarn over as if it were a normal stitch. Okay? And so we knit it all the way across, and then we need to do our increase, which is that KFB. Okay? Knitting in the front, and then knitting in the back. Turn the work. And then we knit 2 stitches. We yarn over. We knit our way across till we reach the last 2 stitches, and we're going to knit them together. See, we've got our last 2, so we go in through the back of both stitches there. We wrap the yarn around, and we pull our loop through. This also does work better, I find, if you're using aluminum needles as opposed to bamboo. Okay. And so there we go. Now, as you can see, we have an eyelet right here, and where we have our yarn over right here, we are going to have another eyelet. So now you would turn your work, and because you just did a decrease, you're going to knit your way around your way across this row, and you're going to do a knit front and back, and then on that last stitch, then you knit 2, you do a yarn over, knit until you hit the last 2 stitches, and you knit them together. And it's just, like I said, it's a 2-row repeat, which makes it really, really simple. And I'm just going to knit a little bit of a swatch to show you with this yarn how it looks. And I'll be back in a bit. Alrighty. Okie dokie pokey. So as you can see, I've been knitting for a bit, and this edge with the eyelets, this is approximately, like if this were fleshed out, this is where your neck would be, and, this would be the 2 edges, 2 bottom edges of your triangular shawl. Now, what you want to keep in mind is that as you keep knitting, okay, this edge and this edge are not going to be the same length, hence asymmetric. Now, for the shawl that I showed in the intro, that took only one skein of the Karen Cakes yarn. And personally, I found that it was definitely a sufficient length. Basically, for my intents and purposes, the length from here to here along the eyelet edge should be at least arm's length, if not more. From fingertip to fingertip with your arms spread. That just works for me, okay? So listen, I really hope that this helps and that you enjoy this tutorial. It's so easy, really. I mean, you just keep on going in the same fashion. When you're starting on the eyelet side, it's knit 2, yarn over, knit across to the last 2, knit those 2 together. Turn your work, knit all the way across until you hit the last stitch, and do a knit front and back stitch. And you just keep going back and forth and back and forth, cha-cha-cha. And it's so easy, really. And using that yarn, I really did like, because you had, as you progressed, you had like a big section of the red, and then every stripe as you went on got more and more narrow, because this section, of course, gets bigger and bigger. So I loved how it worked out, really. And I would love for you to give it a try too. And, if you have any questions, comments, what have you, I always welcome them. And, always love hearing from you guys. You guys are great. And, pardon me. So, listen, stay inspired, stay caffeinated, and above all, keep stitching. Until I see you in my next video, you have a great day, and ta-ta for now. Bye. Okay, not done with me yet. As a final PS, when you are done with your shawl, you want to go along this edge and you want to do a simple bind off. It's nothing crazy. Basically what it amounts to is, in case if you haven't seen my other video on how to do the bind off, you knit 2 stitches, just like you normally would. Okay, and then you take the first stitch and you pass it over the second stitch and then slip that one off. And then you knit another stitch and you go into that one behind there and you slip that one off. And basically you just do this across the entire length of your piece. Just in case if it wasn't readily apparent, I do like to be thorough. I don't like to assume too much of anything because, well, we all know about assuming. So, I just wanted to make sure that that was perfectly clear. Also, of course, when you're doing the bind off, you want these stitches to be nice and loose. You don't want them to be too tight, otherwise this edge here, it'll constrict. So you want the stitches to be nice and loose so that your shawl will maintain a nice sense of flow. Okay, I hope that helps again. And until next time, you have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Thank you again. Bye.